Good morning. I'm once again out in the Pinto Valley Wilderness Area at Lake Mead. Today I'll be rambling through one of my favorite little hidden spots. Holds a lot of little secrets and surprises, and I'm going to do some painting out here. And I just thought I'd bring you along and show you some of the beauty of this place and why I love it so much. Look at these arches through here. It's crazy. So many of them. Look at these tiny, tiny little paw prints. This is one of my all-time favorite arches just because it's so unique. From many angles, you can't even tell it's an arch, but it's quite large. I can stand easily underneath it. You can see how green everything is. And my nose sounds stuffed up. That is why. It is crazy. This is like March, not January. And it's warm today too, very warm. Like mid-70s. Okay, entering the slot here. Thankfully, these plants here aren't jaggy. A little bit of bushwhacking. And here is the slot. It's short, but it's really narrow. Immediately after you come out of the slot canyon, right here on the wall are some petroglyphs. And this area I'm in has petroglyphs all over it. I've seen many different panels and individual ones, and you just have to keep an eye out for them. But this guy kind of looks like a falling man to me. And not sure about these others. And I'll show you some other ones coming right up that are a bit newer than these, and then some ones a little bit later that are way older. And here's the panel I was referencing. I think this one's probably newer. It's hard to say. But this one is in such a strange place that, you know, I've always thought that these probably are like maps and you know, newspaper rock. They give information about an area, but this one is so tucked in here in an area that is really not easy to find that you really have to wonder why this one's here. But I always call it the pooping sheep panel, and I think you can see why. And there's another little guy, it looks like he's falling over here. But this one's one of my favorites. One time I was here admiring the panel, and I turned and looked up the canyon here, and right at the top there were some sheep. It was kind of neat. They were just walking across the top there. And I'm sure the ancient people were hunting back in here. I've gone a little bit out of my way to drop down a gully to show you some more panels. This is the view down into Pinto Valley. You can see Sentinel at left and Pinto Ridge at right, where one of my movies a couple weeks ago took place. And in here, these are those older petroglyphs I was telling you about. These are clearly a lot older than those other ones. In fact, they're barely visible. And I just stumbled across these once. Had no idea they were here. There are petroglyphs throughout Pinto Valley. I know quite a few panels out there. And you can see some more up here. And this is kind of an interesting one, or two. Well, I'm done making my first painting, and now I'm gonna move on to someplace else and try make another one. Gonna head down this slope here. Here's another petroglyph, kind of near the sheep panel that I missed on the way in. I've seen it before, but it was kind of dark back here when I came through before. So I'm going to walk out and look at the sheep panel again, since it looks like it's lit up back here, so might be able to see it better. I'm kind of psyched to see this one lit up. It's very rare. It's almost always shady when I come back in here. And I'm going to go back through the little slot. It's looking very dark right now, but that's okay. It's, like I said, it's pretty short. Give you an idea how narrow this is. This is it. It's not even 1.5 feet, I don't think, here. And this is the very narrowest part. This is not even 1 foot wide. I did have to take this pack off because it's my overnight pack. I have it stuffed with art supplies and I couldn't squeeze through here with it. But you can see it's very narrow here. Got these green grasses again back here. And some of those tiny ferns too. Well, that was awfully low. Holy cow. Jeez, that was only a few hundred feet off the ground. And another. If you don't like to see the sadder parts of nature, you might want to skip ahead about a minute. I'm going to show something that I came across. It's actually the second time I've come across this, and it's kind of sad. It's not gruesome, but just kind of sad. It's a baby fox, and looks pretty fresh. No injuries or anything, so I don't know what killed the poor little guy. Might have been a rattlesnake, who knows? But I have seen lots of live foxes out in this area, both kid foxes and gray foxes, and in fact had a kid fox follow me for a half mile once, but still, this is pretty sad to see. Well, I was going to try and make another painting, but the wind is really starting to pick up, so I think I'm going to head back. But I did want to share this panel. This is a nice one too. And this, I think, was one of the first ones I came across out here. You can see that it was probably much larger, and a good chunks of it have broken off. But here it looks like a coyote or maybe a fox. And more sheep. I was thrilled to come across this panel again. This was only the second time I had come across this one, and it's a really spectacular one, so it was a thrill to see it again. And this time I marked it, so I know where it's at in the future. I'm coming back into the Redstone Picnic Area. That's where I parked. And if you've ever been there, you probably recognize some of these places. I normally park out on North Shore Road and take a shorter hike in, but I wanted to hit some of the ground in between here and there. It's all very pretty. That's a big arch. Some of these formations are just unreal.